So I'm now going to take you through how to make some interesting slides to put into your videos. So when I say interesting, I want them to look good, I want them to be designed well, and I want them to have some good content on there. So I usually have a welcome slide on the front of my video just to sort of have a nice starting point. I then tend to have an overview of what's going to be in the course, and then I often do a slide with just some instructions on how to move around the course. Now, when it comes to creating slides, a couple of little tricks. The first thing is I tend to have some text and an image. And then once I've added my text and image, over on the right-hand side in PowerPoint is this design idea. I love this design idea because what it does is it generates different designs. So obviously you can use your style guide as well, and hopefully if you've got one, you've set up your colours inside PowerPoint and it will reflect that. But you can see down here all these different options it gives me of different look and feel. So whenever I make a slide, I always use the design idea just to get a sense, just to really take it up a notch, really make the PowerPoints pop. Now the next thing when I'm building a PowerPoint is if I know it's going into VidVersity, I tend to want a lighter colour, or at best I'd like white over here on the right hand side. Why is that? Because when we put it into the video, there's going to be a next button over here on the right. And we want that to be really visual, that the learner can read something and know they've got to click on the next button. The second thing is once I've decided on a style, I will then usually duplicate that slide. So that's duplicated. I might change the text to, maybe I'm going to do a slide about the author. And then to make sure the image is exactly the same size, look and feel, once I've decided on that, I click on the image, I go up to picture format, and there's this little button here next, not the artistic effects one, but next to that, the drop down arrow is the change picture. Now the advantage of doing that, I'm going to find a file for you. I'm going to find a picture. Okay, so I'll just choose any picture that I've got already from here. Let's just choose that. And see what it's done. It's actually put the picture in the exact same format. So I'm now building a slide deck that looks really sharp, but all the same. Again, if I wanted to change the look and feel, my design ideas are over here, which really excite me because I can't design things like that, and I really like the idea of things really becoming quite really slick and popping out. But again, I'm going to stick with this one because I like the idea of having the next button in there. Now, once I've built out my slides, to be able to use them in VidVersity, I need to change the format, and I need to change it into an image file. Because once we get into VidVersity, when we upload our PowerPoints, we upload an image. And there's two formats of an image. There's a JPEG or a .png. I personally prefer the PNG. They're a smaller file, which means they make the learning experience much nicer because it doesn't take as long to download. If I was in a Mac, I would go up to Export, and I'd export as an image. In the PC environment, you go up to File, and you click on Save As. And when we get there, there is a drop-down menu here. By default, all things that we save are as a PowerPoint, but we're going to go down here and we're going to save it as a PNG. And then we click on Save. And it says, do you want to save it as all slides or just one? I traditionally do all slides, and what that does is it builds a separate folder. If we were to go over to our folders over here, and if we go into downloads, there will be a separate folder. There it is, and our slides have all been saved as what we call an image file or a JPEG. That means when we go over to VidVersity and when we start uploading the files, that we upload the image file. So just to recap on those steps, build your slides. Use this design feature to really help them pop. Great place to get images I use is unsplash.com. They just have really great, interesting photos, so I tend to use those. Once you've decided on the style, duplicate it, and then to change the image so that it has the same size, dimensions and everything, use the click on the image, go up to picture format, and it's this drop down there. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to make the slides really interesting, and they'll look really great on the screen. And make sure you wash all your branding through it so it really has a great consistent look and feel throughout the module that you're building.